What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It is time once again for another 2025 top of the bull market price prediction. And this time we're going to be covering Polygon MATIC. I've made one of these before months ago at the end of 2023, but there are some different details that have come to light. So we need to update this price prediction. I'm going to go ahead and let you know the price is going to be a little bit lower. So if you've seen that video, you're going to want to watch this whole one all the way through. If you haven't seen it, completely fine. You're also going to want to see this one all the way through. Make sure you go ahead and smash that like button. And if you enjoy crypto and want to stay up to date with everything you need to know about it, you're going to want to subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. With that said, though, we're the investing bros. All right, now before we get into our 4 assumptions that we have to have with all of our price predictions, I want to address why I need to redo the video and why I think that the prices that I used to give are not going to end up happening. I think the price is going to be coming a little bit lower. Go back and look at that video if you want to see, because there's a lot of good information in there, but there's especially one big miscalculation that details have changed. And so therefore I have to change my prediction on what's going to happen there. I still believe that institutions like MATIC, I still believe that this is going to be a coin in an institutional bull market that gets some great price action to the upside. However, we have seen a couple roadblocks come in that maybe we didn't perceive or we didn't think was as big of a deal back in late 2023. But now I need to bring them to light. Whereas back at the end of 2023, we still saw MATIC hovering right there closer to the top 10. Recent pushes from things like Arbitrum and Optimism, other Ethereum layer 2s, have stolen some of the limelight from MATIC, dropping it all the way down to number 18. We'll address that more here in just a couple of minutes. That's not it, though. I mean, we have competition from other Ethereum layer 2s, but also Ethereum itself now is on pace to get itself an Ethereum ETF. Guess what that means? Whereas before, when people were simply working and operating within Ethereum, and that was the main way people were investing in it, and all the gas fees mean that you needed to have some sort of a scaling solution like a Polygon MATIC. Now, there could be a lot of money that comes into Ethereum because people are purchasing the ETF. They're not even getting involved in the actual tech, the actual crypto, and that's going to steal some of the thunder from MATIC. So we'll get into it, but ultimately, whereas before in the last video, I predicted that MATIC could get as high as possibly number 7 on CoinMarketCap, I do believe that recent events means that that's a little high. We're going to have to drop that number down. But let's get into the details of what makes my updated MATIC price prediction. Now, my number one assumption, we always start off with this one. It's the simple, but it's very important. It's the $11 trillion market cap for crypto as a whole. Again, I've said this in almost every single video, but I think this is a very realistic expectation to get to $11 trillion. I also believe that we might actually be low here. And if I am low and we do go closer to 15 or 20 trillion, as some believe we could, then, of course, every price prediction I'm giving is very, very low. We could see things go way higher than what I'm even predicting. That being said, I am going to stick with that, in my view, conservative level. 11 trillion is my expectation. Let me know in the comments if you disagree. That's completely fine, but that's what I'm going with for the sake of the video. Assumption number 1. Let's get to assumption number 2, and this is the biggest change to my price prediction for MATIC. Now, the big thing I'm watching here is the ranking systems. I told you guys I ranked before. I thought that MATIC could get all the way up maybe to number 7, definitely within the top 10, but maybe up as high as number 7. At the time of making that video, again, it was hovering. I can't remember which ranking, but somewhere here just outside of the top 10. Recent events had dropped it all the way down to number 18. And I think it's going to be the same thing moving forward. I think it's going to be very hard for MATIC to jump a lot of other big coins. In fact, there's some coins below it that I think will end up passing MATIC by the time this is all said and done. But I do believe MATIC can stay somewhere between number 15 and number 11. I don't think it's cracking the top 10. I think there's too many other projects doing too many other things that are going to keep it out of that top 10. But I think that's the ceiling at this point. Number 11 or 12 is where I'm kind of realistically looking for MATIC to get to. What does that mean? Well, that moves us into assumption number 3. And that's going to have to do with the market cap. Now, current market cap for Polygon MATIC is at $7 billion. That number on CoinMarketCap, you can find it right there, $7 billion. If we make it up there towards number 12, number 11, we're looking at something about we're looking at a 0.7 to 1% dominance of the total crypto market cap. Again, $11 trillion. So another way to put this is we're kind of looking somewhere between 70 to $100 billion, give or take, is our expectations. So market cap, that's actually really, really good. More than a 10x left if we make it to that 100 billion, because we're only sitting at 7 billion at the moment. But again, in the last video, we were looking, just to give you some reference, if we made it into the top 7, we were talking about possibly getting as high as $200 billion. I do think that market cap is too high at this point. If only 11 trillion comes into crypto, my guesstimation is 100 trillion based off the ranking of being around number 12 or 11, should see it max somewhere about $100 billion for MATIC. Now, that moves us into assumption number 4. We have our market cap. That's very helpful, but now we need to know about supply. Now, here's a great thing about the tokenomics of MATIC. Even though technically there's no max supply, I've not been given any information. Until we get new information, there's no plan for them to print new tokens, and we're darn near close to maxing out the full supply. While total right now is about 10 billion, we're sitting at this moment at 9.9 billion, meaning there's not a lot of tokens that should be printed and released between now and the end. And so I'm going to keep this one optimistic and say, I think we stick right there around 10 billion tokens total. And now all of a sudden, if that is the case, unless we hear something new from Polygon with the reasons why they're printing new tokens, that means that we have our price prediction. Why? Because price predictions come from the market cap divided by the total supply. Now, again, comment down below if you disagree with anything I've said up to this point. Do you think that MATIC's going to get higher in rankings? Do you think that 100 billion is too high or too low for a price prediction? And do you think for some reason MATIC is going to be printing new tokens and the number 10 billion right here is end up going to go higher? Let me know if you think that's the case. But for now, if my assumptions are correct and none of that changes, we have ourselves a price prediction. It's very simple too. 10 billion divided by our market cap, 70 billion to 100 billion, would give us a price prediction on MATIC where we're currently at 71 cents, somewhere between $7 on the low end up to $10 on the high end. And of course, if you're looking here at where we currently are at the time of making this video, that means we're going to look at somewhere between a 9x to potential 13, 14x for our high predictions. I kind of lean closer towards the $10 mark for MATIC. I think that MATIC is one that can get a little bit higher here and get up to the $10 mode. So I'm kind of looking at that saying, I think a 14x, 15x is very much in the cards for MATIC. If you were one of the crazy people who bought maybe back in September before this whole run started, now you're talking about a 20x for yourself. And if you bought way back at the bottom of the bear market, now we're talking about way back here in June of 2022, we're talking about upwards of a 30x, 30x here, almost 31x from bottom to top here. Not too bad for our MATIC holders. I know some people wanted this number to be a little bit higher, but again, we got to stick with the details. We got to stick with the numbers. That's what I do with these price predictions. If my numbers are wrong, if any of my assumptions are wrong, then yeah, the numbers could change here, but I have a good feeling those numbers will be pretty accurate. What do you guys think? Do I have too low of a number for MATIC or am I too high? Let me know down in the comments below. With that said, love all of you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Adios.